The internet is on fire right now because Stefon Diggs has finally spoken, and what he revealed about Cardi B will leave the celebrity world in total meltdown. Months of rumors, secret messages, and chaotic live streams are finally over. Cardi B has moved on, and according to Stefon, the man she's with is none other than Chris Brown. Not speculation, not gossip. Stefon says she confirmed it, and the details he dropped are absolutely nuclear. He didn't just hint. He didn't shade her. He gave personal details, private conversations, timelines, the moment she emotionally checked out of their relationship, and why she chose someone else. Fans are now asking, when did Cardi and Chris get close? How long was she hiding it? And what does Offset think about all this? Stefon claims Cardi leaned on him emotionally, but while he was giving comfort, Chris Brown was quietly offering stability, respect, and influence. And when Cardi realized Stefon wasn't her solution, she started pulling away. According to Stefon, she told him, "My new man is rich, respectful, shy, and more focused than you." And just like that, the internet exploded. The drama isn't just about heartbreak, it's a war of ego, influence, and secrets. And trust me, you're about to see the timeline no one was supposed to know. The chaos started long before Stefon Diggs ever spoke up. From the outside, Cardi B and Stefon always looked like a situation waiting to explode. Loud, unpredictable, impulsive, always dancing on the edge of a public meltdown. One day they were vibing on Instagram Live, laughing like teenagers in love, and the next, Cardi would subtly shade him on Twitter, fans arguing in the comments over who was using who. But behind the scenes, things were far messier. From the beginning, people warned Stefon. Friends told him, "Bro, she's still attached to Offset. Don't get invested." Meanwhile, Cardi's team reportedly reminded her, "Stefon isn't emotionally stable enough. He loves attention too much." But neither of them listened. They were pulled together not by love, not by compatibility, but by timing. Cardi had been drifting emotionally for months, long before the public realized her marriage to Offset had flatlined. Late-night arguments, silent treatment days, growing distance that no amount of smiles or social media posts could hide. Stefon positioned himself quietly, watching it unfold. Every time Offset embarrassed her publicly, Stefon sent a supportive message. Every time Cardi posted something cryptic, Stefon liked it first. Every time she hinted she was done with men, he would joke, "You ain't done with all of us." It was obvious he was waiting for his moment, and eventually, it came. Cardi began leaning on Stefon emotionally at first. He became the one she vented to at 2 a.m., the person she trusted with details she never shared online. And Stefon loved it. He felt chosen. He felt powerful. He thought he had a door into her world no one else had access to. But emotional attachment does not equal romantic compatibility. Stefon gave comfort. Chris Brown gave opportunity, respect, and a level of stability Stefon couldn't compete with. Cardi was pulled in different directions. Their first fight was over something small, a rumor about Offset texting another woman. Stefon tried to console her, tried to be the savior, and instead made it worse. "You deserve better than that, man," he reportedly told her. Cardi snapped, "Don't tell me what I deserve. You don't know my marriage." That argument opened a wound neither could close, but she didn't cut him off. She pulled closer because Stefon offered something Offset hadn't: attention, validation, the feeling of being wanted. Here's the twist nobody expected. While Cardi confided in Stefon, she was reconnecting with someone from her past, someone she had admired for years, someone with power, money, influence, and star status equal to hers: Chris Brown. Their connection reportedly started professionally, through music conversations, performance plans, and creative ideas. But the chemistry was immediate and undeniable. Chris allegedly told a friend, "Cardi got a fire in her. I see myself in her." While Stefon offered emotional band-aids, Chris offered growth, opportunity, and respect. Cardi was torn. Stefon gave her comfort. Chris gave her future. Offset gave her history. The turning point came one night in Miami. Cardi had a heated argument with Offset over something small but symbolic. He liked another woman's picture. Normally it wouldn't matter, but Cardi was exhausted, emotionally drained, and questioning everything. She called Stefon, but he didn't answer. Chris Brown did. He picked up, talked her down, calmed her, told her she deserved respect and stability. In that vulnerable moment, Cardi felt seen in a way she hadn't in years. That night didn't end romantically, but it planted a seed. When Stefon finally called back hours later, Cardi confronted him. "You didn't answer when I needed you." Instead of apologizing, Stefon got defensive. "I'm not your therapist. I'm not babysitting your emotions." That was it. The connection snapped. Cardi realized Stefon wasn't her solution. He was just another problem. She pulled away, texting slower, calling less, not laughing at his jokes, not sharing details about Offset anymore. Stefon panicked. He started calling more. She ignored him. DMs went unanswered. Cardi suddenly became too busy for him. Rumors began. Cardi was seen backstage at a Chris Brown performance, leaving the same studio, attending private dinners with mutual industry friends. Stefon confronted her. She didn't deny it, didn't fight, didn't explain. She said, "You worry too much." That sentence broke him. From that moment, Stefon knew he lost her. Not to Offset, but to Chris Brown. But Cardi didn't publicly confirm anything. She kept it private, waiting, observing, and focusing on herself. Stefon, feeling betrayed and humiliated, decided to speak out. And when he didn't just reveal the relationship, he revealed the timeline, the secret calls, the backstage moments, the shift in energy, the moment she stopped calling, the moment she told him she was seeing someone else, and the words he claims she said. "My new man is rich, respectful, shy, and more focused than you." Fans immediately exploded. Social media went crazy. Offset started trending, reacting with cryptic posts. Chris Brown started trending simply for being mentioned. The receipts began surfacing: blurry screenshots, leaked DMs, flirty emojis, behind-the-scenes clips. Every detail seemed to confirm Stefon's story, but the reaction wasn't what he expected. Instead of dragging Cardi, fans sided with her. They saw a woman choosing stability and emotional maturity over chaos and drama. Stefon's ego could not handle it. He felt humiliated, not because he lost Cardi, but because he lost to Chris Brown, a man whose career and fame dwarf his own. The combination of heartbreak, jealousy, and public exposure turned Stefon into a man obsessed with proving he was wronged. Social media erupted with debates. Did Cardi leave Stefon for Chris? Or did she leave Stefon for herself? Why did Chris Brown appear at the right moment? And what role did Offset really play in this tangled web? And as the timeline continues to unravel, one thing is clear. This isn't just celebrity gossip. This is a collision of ego, emotional growth, power, influence, and strategy. Cardi's move wasn't just romantic, it was career-shaping. She didn't just upgrade a man, she chose a partner who could match her emotionally and professionally. Stefon wasn't just replaced, he was exposed. Fans began piecing together the evidence: insider clips, late-night calls, studio footage, public appearances. Every cryptic post from Cardi, every deleted message, every backstage moment became a puzzle. Social media exploded with speculation. Was this a rebound? A genuine connection? Or part of Cardi's strategic rebrand with Chris Brown? And while Stefon spiraled, Cardi quietly moved forward. She wasn't messy, she wasn't cheating, she wasn't playing games. She evolved. She chose emotional maturity, strategic alignment, and stability over drama. And as the internet debated, the world began to realize that Stefon's rant had only amplified Cardi and Chris's story, making their connection seem more undeniable than ever. By the time Stefon's bombshell went public, fans, celebrities, and insiders were watching, reacting, and taking sides. TikTok videos broke down his timeline. Twitter threads dissected every DM. Instagram exploded with memes and edits. The story became more than a relationship scandal. It became a cultural moment, a reflection of modern celebrity drama, emotional intelligence, and public perception. The chaos of Part 1 ends here, but the story is far from over. The private video, the insider leaks, the reactions from Offset, and the evolving dynamic between Cardi and Chris Brown are all just beginning to unfold. Stefon may have revealed the timeline, but the real drama is only getting started. The story seemed chaotic, but Part 2? That's where the real wildfire ignited. Stefon Diggs had gone public, exposing Cardi B's relationship with Chris Brown, the timeline of her emotional shift, and his own heartbreak. But the internet wasn't just reacting, it was exploding. Within minutes, every platform was on fire. Twitter threads dissected his posts. TikTok creators stitched clips of Cardi and Chris, analyzed body language, and cross-referenced studio appearances. Instagram became a battlefield of shady captions, deleted comments, and edits of every moment Stefon mentioned. The drama wasn't just viral, it was omnipresent. Fans immediately took sides. Some sided with Cardi, saying she didn't leave Stefon for money or fame. She left him for peace, emotional stability, and someone who matched her energy. Others sided with Stefon, claiming he was blindsided, humiliated, and publicly exposed. Memes flooded the internet. One showed Stefon as a lone football player on the field, while Cardi and Chris walked off the sidelines like a power couple. Another compared Stefon's Instagram stories to a crying toddler, while Chris Brown's stoic smile in photos became a symbol of victory. Offset entered the scene, adding fuel to the fire. First, a cryptic post, "I ain't never worried." Everyone translated that as passive-aggressive panic, because when a man says he's not bothered, the opposite is usually true. Minutes later, another post, "Loyalty is rare these days." Was it Cardi? Chris? Stefon? The internet went wild. Fans dissected every angle, reading between the lines for hidden messages, trying to map out a full-scale celebrity triangle. Meanwhile, Stefon's followers were spiraling. He posted and deleted messages, claiming Cardi was lying, that she wasn't with Chris for real, that she had never intended to be with him. But every time he posted, the internet reacted faster, and the narrative slowly slipped away from him. Cardi was no longer the one being analyzed. Stefon had become the center of scrutiny. His ego couldn't handle it. He wasn't just heartbroken, he was humiliated. Losing a woman is painful, yes, but losing to Chris Brown? To someone the public adored, respected, and admired? That's a different kind of emotional burn. At the same time, leaked receipts began to surface. A blurry screenshot of Cardi and Chris on FaceTime appeared, showing her smiling, his chain visible, her nails matching a TikTok filmed that same week. Fans zoomed in, matched timestamps, analyzed shadows, and suddenly, Stefon's claims felt validated. Then came the leaked DMs, Chris Brown reacting to a snippet of a Cardi song, Cardi leaving a flirty emoji on one of his posts, a behind-the-scenes clip of Chris whispering to someone off-camera that fans swore was Cardi. While none of this officially confirmed romance, the internet read it like an open book. But the real shock came from Stefon himself. He revealed that Cardi had told him, "My next man isn't going to embarrass me online." That one sentence detonated the web. Fans immediately knew. She wasn't just leaving Stefon, she was leaving chaos, drama, and emotional inconsistency. Stefon had provided comfort, attention, and drama, but Chris offered maturity, calm, and respect. Cardi wasn't being messy, she was choosing growth. The insider information kept escalating. Sources claimed Cardi and Chris had been talking for nearly a year before Stefon even entered the picture. Not romantically at first, but consistently. Studio calls, creative discussions, performance ideas, even collaborative plans that never officially happened. Every insider quote added fuel. Chris reportedly told a friend, "If she ever gets free, I'll shoot my shot respectfully." He had been waiting months, quietly supporting Cardi through her divorce decisions, helping her navigate custody, finances, and public perception. The internet began to connect the dots. Why did Kris start speaking highly of Cardi in interviews? Why was he defending her online? Why was he liking posts from burner accounts? Everything suddenly made sense. Kris wasn't just a new man. He was a strategist, a supporter, and a silent partner in Cardi's evolution. Stefon, on the other hand, had been blindsided, caught in his own ego, misreading signals, and exposed for everyone to see. The social media storm intensified when celebrities started chiming in. Female rappers posted messages about strong women choosing peace over chaos. R&B singers praised emotional maturity. Comedians joked about Stefon's public unraveling. Even other NFL players weighed in, tweeting about how real ones stay silent. The collective energy of fans and celebrities completely shifted the narrative. Stefon's version of events was no longer the story. The world began to side with Cardi, praising her emotional intelligence and growth. Chris Brown, meanwhile, stayed calm. No tweets, no drama, no direct confrontation. One simple post, a selfie in the studio, smiling, captioned, "Energy attracts energy," was enough. Fans immediately recognized the subtle flex. Without saying a word, Chris Brown had won the narrative. Cardi B's alignment with him suddenly looked strategic, intentional, and inevitable. Every cryptic post, every studio appearance, every backstage smile now carried a new meaning. Stefon's situation worsened. Every post he made, every rant, every deleted message only amplified Cardi and Chris's story. The internet had fully turned on him. Fans scrutinized his every word, analyzing inconsistencies and questioning his credibility. The narrative had shifted from heartbreak to ego collapse. Stefon was no longer a sympathetic figure. He was the one caught in a public spiral, and every social media user could see it. Then came the bombshell. The insider revealed a private video showing Cardi and Chris working together before Stefon was ever involved. Planning sessions, rehearsals, late-night studio work. The chemistry was there, undeniable, and strategic. This wasn't just casual bonding or friendship. Cardi was evolving her brand, planning her artistic shift, and Chris was helping architect it. The narrative of Stefon being a central figure crumbled entirely. He hadn't lost Cardi. He had never been the main player. He was just a transition, a placeholder, while the real connection was growing elsewhere. The fan reaction was intense. TikTok creators highlighted every moment, dissected every conversation, and framed Stefon as a man who misread emotional cues. Twitter exploded with debate. Was Cardi's move romantic, professional, or both? Did Chris Brown swoop in at the perfect time, or was this a pre-planned evolution of her career? Fans created edits, mock album covers, compilations, and montage videos imagining Cardi and Chris as a power couple. The narrative was fully cemented. Cardi had upgraded, strategically aligned, and chosen a man whose emotional intelligence and stability matched her ambition. Offset wasn't staying silent either. Cryptic messages and deleted posts suggested jealousy, territorial instincts, and panic. Fans interpreted every line, every gesture, and every video clip. The entire triangle, Cardi, Chris, Stefon, Offset, was being analyzed like a live courtroom, and every revelation shifted the story further away from Stefon's control. It was clear. Stefon had revealed what he thought would be scandal, but instead, he had amplified Cardi and Chris's rise. His ego, heartbreak, and public exposure became the very evidence that confirmed their connection. Cardi wasn't being messy, she was evolving. Stefon wasn't the victim of betrayal. He was the spectator of someone else's emotional and professional growth. The drama was far from over. The leaked video, backstage collaborations, and insider details promised that Part 3 would escalate everything even further. Fans were left on edge, waiting for the next revelation, the next secret, the next confirmation that Cardi and Chris weren't just connected, they were unstoppable together. The internet was already a war zone. Stefon Diggs' revelations had gone viral, but what followed in Part 3 turned everything into an all-out spectacle. Social media wasn't just talking, it was living the drama. TikTok creators recreated timelines, analyzed every backstage clip, and dissected every DM. Twitter became a courtroom, Instagram a battlefield, and fans everywhere were arguing, laughing, and speculating in real time. Stefon, meanwhile, was spiraling. The man who had thought he controlled the narrative realized he hadn't. Cardi B wasn't just moving on, she was leveling up, strategically, emotionally, and professionally. Chris Brown wasn't just a love interest. He was a collaborator, a strategist, and the stabilizing force Stefon could never be. Every post Stefon made, every rant, every cryptic tweet only amplified Cardi and Chris's story. He wasn't the victim anymore. He was the spectacle. And then came the celebrity reactions, each one adding fuel to the fire. Female rappers praised Cardi's decision to choose peace over chaos, highlighting her emotional maturity. R&B singers lauded Chris Brown's calm and supportive energy. Comedians poked fun at Stefon's public unraveling. Even other athletes weighed in, tweeting advice about handling fame, relationships, and social media exposure. Every reaction, every post, every opinion pushed the narrative further away from Stefon and closer to Cardi and Chris. Offset, naturally, couldn't stay silent. First came cryptic messages implying that loyalty and control were rare these days. Fans immediately translated them as indirect commentary on Cardi and Chris. Then came a deleted video of him working out, captioned, "Focused, ain't worried about nobody." Social media exploded, interpreting this as panic disguised as calm. Each post, each deletion, each hint only added to the chaos. Offset's reaction confirmed one thing. He felt threatened, not by Stefon, but by Chris Brown's presence in Cardi's life. Then the insider leaks hit. A private video of Cardi and Chris surfaced, at least in rumors, showing them collaborating on a creative rebrand before Stefon ever entered the picture. Planning sessions, studio rehearsals, and strategy meetings all hinted at chemistry, professionalism, and trust. The implication was massive. Stefon wasn't the central figure in Cardi's life. He had never been. He was just a transition, a placeholder, while Cardi and Chris built the foundation for her next chapter. The internet immediately connected the dots. Every cryptic post from Cardi, every backstage interaction with Chris, every flirty DM that Stefon didn't know about suddenly became evidence of a deeper connection. TikTok creators exploded with videos, breaking down the timeline, highlighting Stefon's contradictions, and framing him as the man who misread emotional cues while Cardi quietly evolved. Twitter erupted with debates. Was this a romance, a professional collaboration, or both? Could Stefon have ever competed with Chris Brown's stability, emotional maturity, and industry influence? Stefon's response only made things worse. Live streams, deleted posts, cryptic tweets, and rants painted him as desperate and unstable. Fans scrutinized every word, every facial expression, every public comment. His credibility was melting before their eyes. And as Stefon spiraled, Chris Brown remained calm, composed, and unbothered. One simple post, a selfie in the studio, smiling, captioned, "Energy attracts energy," was enough to flex without saying a word. The public immediately recognized it as a silent victory. Meanwhile, Cardi B stayed silent on specifics. She didn't confirm, didn't deny, didn't explain. Her only statement? "I don't explain myself to people who twist the truth. No names, no clarification, no denial." That one line drove the internet insane. Every interpretation became valid, every rumor more believable, and every speculation seemed confirmed. Cardi had mastered control without ever saying a word directly. Stefon, on the other hand, had overexposed himself, proving that when you try to control the narrative too publicly, it can backfire spectacularly. The drama escalated further with leaked receipts. Blurry FaceTime screenshots showed Cardi smiling, Chris laughing, her nails visible from a TikTok video. DMs surfaced, Chris reacting to Cardi's song snippets, Cardi leaving emojis on his posts, whispers on behind-the-scenes videos. These weren't official confirmations, but the public read them like an open book. Stefon's exposure had inadvertently created proof that validated the timeline he tried to reveal. And yet, it only strengthened the idea that Chris Brown was the better match. Fans began analyzing the emotional layers. Cardi hadn't left Stefon for Chris. She had left Stefon for herself. She wanted emotional consistency, professional respect, and strategic partnership. Stefon gave drama, attention, and emotional intensity, but he lacked stability, foresight, and calm. Chris offered all three. This subtle but crucial difference reshaped the public's perspective entirely. Stefon wasn't just heartbroken, he was publicly outmatched. The insider story didn't stop there. Reports suggested Chris Brown had been quietly supporting Cardi through her divorce, helping her navigate custody issues, brand deals, and public scrutiny. He advised her on staying focused, detaching emotionally from drama, and maintaining control over her narrative. Every public move, every backstage collaboration, every cryptic post suddenly had context. Chris wasn't just a romantic interest. He was a strategist, a confidant, and the anchor Cardi needed while the world watched. The tipping point came when a video from their private collaboration reportedly leaked, or at least insiders claimed it existed. Cardi and Chris were working, planning her rebrand, rehearsing choreography, and discussing her next musical era. The public frenzy intensified. The clip implied chemistry, professional alignment, and long-standing connection. Stefon had never been the focus. He had been caught in the crossfire of someone else's evolution. Fans immediately theorized about joint projects, secret collaborations, and new artistic directions. Social media exploded. Edits, mock album covers, and viral TikTok compilations celebrated Cardi and Chris's synergy. Stefon's side of the story faded, replaced by admiration for Chris's calm, competence, and emotional intelligence. Offset's cryptic posts fueled debates about loyalty, control, and jealousy. Cardi's silence and strategic actions left the world guessing, analyzing, and reshaping the narrative in real time. Every fan theory, every insider hint, every viral edit strengthened the perception that Cardi had chosen wisely. Stefon Diggs had gone from a central figure to a spectator, exposed publicly and dissected online. Cardi B had quietly reasserted control over her personal and professional life. Chris Brown had emerged as both her emotional anchor and creative partner. Offset was left reacting, spiraling between public cryptic posts and private frustrations. And the public? They were hooked. Every moment, every leak, every post, every clip was dissected, shared, and debated endlessly. Part 3 ends on a cliffhanger. The insider video, if it leaks, could confirm Cardi and Chris's connection even further. It could prove Stefon was never central to the story. It could show Offset's insecurities in a new light. And it could redefine how the public views the evolution of Cardi B's personal and professional journey. The stage is set. The players are all in motion. And social media isn't just watching. It's participating, shaping, and amplifying every revelation. The story isn't over. Stefon's heartbreak, Cardi's evolution, Chris's strategic role, and Offset's panic are just the beginning. When the insider video drops, everything will change, and the internet will never see this story the same way again. And just like that, the story isn't over. It's only getting wilder. Cardi B has evolved. Chris Brown has stepped in as her anchor and strategist. Stefon Diggs has lost control. And Offset? Well, Offset is spiraling in silence. The internet is watching, analyzing, and waiting for the next move. And now, the biggest question of all. When that insider video drops, what will it reveal? Who was really in control, and who was just playing a part? This is where you come in. I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think Cardi and Chris were already emotionally connected before Stefon ever entered the picture? Was Stefon really just a transition? Did Offset mishandle the situation, or was it all out of his control? Drop your opinions in the comments right now. Don't scroll past. Every comment, every theory, every reaction matters, and you know the community is going to debate it all. And while you're at it, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The moment any new leaks, insider info, or drama drops, I'll be back with the next update immediately. This story is far from finished, and you don't want to miss a single twist. Stay locked in. The internet just got even messier.